Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and what I believe to be the best custom classes within Advanced Warfare. As you guys can see, I'm level 50, I am ready to Prestige, but before I Prestiged, I wanted to make a video for you guys talking about the custom classes that I've used throughout the Prestige, all the class subs that I've tried out, and the ones I believe to be the best ones in the game that can help you ease yourself into Advanced Warfare and give you guys some kind of insight as to the classes I like to use and the way I like to play, and hopefully help you as a result. So let's go in here to the created class. As you guys can see, I only have 5 created classes, but these classes I believe are actually very good, and they work for all game modes. I've tried these in game modes like Team Deathmatch, especially a lot in Team Deathmatch. I've done these in Domination, I've done these in Momentum, and Search and Destroy. They all work out relatively well. The first class we're looking at here is going to be with the Ball 27. This gun is one of the first rifles you unlock. In fact, I think it's the first rifle you unlock, so you don't have to wait very long to be able to have it, and it's very, very powerful. It actually has a fun little quirk about it. As you guys can see by reading through all the different weapons within the game, they all kind of have their own little gimmick in a way. Now you see this is fully automatic, and its gimmick is that it fires faster over time. So if you just start shooting at somebody and then hold down the trigger, the longer you hold down the trigger as you approach like the end of your magazine, it's actually going to shoot faster and faster and faster and faster until you run out of ammo in your clip. So I think that's kind of a cool little feature about it. The attachments I run are quick draw and adjustable stock, which is pretty similar to what I run in like Black Ops 2. I like to be able to move around with my assault rifles. I'm not much of a sit back and pick people off kind of guy. I'm more of a guy that likes to get up in their face, and this assault rifle here actually has a lot of versatility for that because of its crazy fire rate. As you guys can see, it actually has best in class fire rate, and that fire rate only gets better and better and better as time goes by as you hold down the trigger. So it's a very nice rifle. You unlock it right away. The perks I'm actually going to be using are going to be lightweight as my first perk, because once again I like to move around quickly with my assault rifle, which is why you see adjustable stock and quick draw in here. I actually don't use a second perk at all. I don't find the second perks honestly in this game to be very, very good. Gung Ho is something a lot of people talk about as being cool, but you can only hip fire while using Gung Ho. You can sprint and hip fire at the same time, but since you're sprinting, your crosshairs are so far apart that it makes it really hard to actually hit anybody when you're doing that, so it just really seems kind of worthless to me. Peripherals doesn't seem that great. Cold Blood and Blind Eye can be good, but I don't see them being so necessary that I need to waste all my spots on there, because for this particular class setup, I like to actually use my kill streaks. The third tier perks, though, we are going to be using wildcard perk 3 Greed, and we're going to be using that to have Toughness and Blast Suppressor. Two honestly essential perks in my opinion for Advanced Warfare. Toughness is going to make it so we flinch less when we're shot, which is just such a crutch perk, but it's amazing, and until they take it out of the game, it's the kind of perk that you're going to need to use. And Blast Suppressor is very, very nice. It makes it so you don't ping on the enemy minimap when you use your exo moves. So if you're using lightweight and you're using quick draw and stock on this thing and you're going around the map as fast as possible and just taking out people and using the versatility that the Ball 27 gives you, you don't want to be showing up on the enemy minimap whenever you want to do an exo jump or something like that as you're trying to get yourself into position. So I definitely recommend Blast Suppressor, and you're going to see it's actually on a lot of my classes. Go down here to Exo ability. We have Exo Overclock. Of all the Exo abilities, honestly, I'm not a big fan of really any of them. Trophy system is pretty cool. It can actually help you out when you're trying to capture a flag and things like that, but most of all, I find Overclock to be the best one, which you're going to see this on every single one of my classes. It gives you a temporary speed boost, so as soon as you spawn in, you use this, you start running, suddenly you're halfway across the map in a matter of seconds. It's a very good exo ability, and I use it on every single one of my classes. Highly recommend that. The secondary I'm using is honestly all personal preference. I haven't given too much stock to the pistols in this game. I don't really think they're all really that great. The one-shot pistol here, of course, can be good, but I find the most versatility and use out of the Atlas 45, which is the reason you're going to see that on my custom classes actually have it. I actually have a Ranger version of it here, but that reduces the damage of it, increases the range. It doesn't seem that good to me in all honesty, so I just use the Atlas 45 as my secondary. The kill streaks are honestly interchangeable. If you would like to actually use these, we do have 13 spots in our create class here to use, so be sure to use them as much as possible. The ones I like to run is relatively low ones, all things considered. I don't find it really worth it to go for the high kill streaks like the Warbird or the Paladin or even the Goliath, because my Goliath gets shot down right away. So I like to go for the lower style streaks, which are UAV, System Hack, which is very annoying, as well as we have Missile Strike. So basically you have your equivalent of a UAV and a really powerful powerful counter UAV slash EMP, and then the missile strike, the way it performs, is pretty similar to that of a Predator missile. So it's pretty relatively low kill streaks. This is very good for game modes like Kill Confirmed and Domination, and you might have a lot of fun with it. For maps that are a little bit bigger, maps where a submachine gun just seems like it doesn't really work out that well, well, this is the perfect setup for those maps where it's just a little bit outside of submachine gun range, but it's not like a sniper style map or a very big wide open map. It's just one of those maps that you think would fit an assault rifle very well. This class will work out very well for you. Next up, we're going to be looking at the TAC-19 shotgun class. Now, the shotgun, you guys know me, I'm a shotgun player. I like using shotguns. I gotta say, the shotguns this game are pretty weak sauce, but I have found some pretty nice success out of using this class right here. So we're using the TAC-19 because there's only 3 shotguns available. We have our pump-action shotgun, we have a full-auto shotgun, and we have a semi-automatic shotgun. I really like pump-actions. I'm a fan of pump-action shotguns and double-barrel shotguns. Since, unfortunately, there is no double-barrel shotgun in this game, I'm going with the pump-action, which is going to be the TAC-19. The attachments I'm going to be using are going to be advanced rifling and laser sight. So advanced rifling increases the range. If you're comparing this to Black Ops 2, it's the equivalent of long barrel, and laser sight over here is going to increase hip fire accuracy, the exact same thing that we had in Black Ops 2. Those are very good attachments. I found that you can hip fire people up to a relatively good range. I'm actually going to show you guys that range here with the power of the firing range that we have in Advanced Warfare. So if you go all the way over here to booth 8, you can actually go up here and you can actually adjust the range of a target. You can make him come closer or further. So of course, this close, you're going to melt somebody with a shotgun. But as you guys can see here, we can adjust the distance. Once they get to about 10 meters, that's when hip fire range really becomes kind of sketchy. Anywhere inside of 10 meters, you can usually get a one-shot kill if you're hip firing at the guy or even aiming at the guy. But once they get to that 10-meter mark and beyond, you're really going to need to start aiming. And I would say once you get to about 13, 12, somewhere in this range, that's when you just need to start moving. You're not really going to get a reliable one-hit kill range at this area. It's just not going to work out for you. You can try your damnedest. You're not going to get a one-hit kill. It's not going to work out for you. You're going to be frustrated. Move around. Do some exo boosts and stuff like that. Try out that kind of thing. It can definitely help you out a little bit more than just sitting there getting hit markers and dying to it. The perks I'm going to be using on this, I'm actually going to be using 4 perks, and we're going to be using 2 wild cards for this. We're using perk 1 greed and perk 3 greed. Now, with our perk 1 greed, we're going to be taking lightweight and low profile. So lightweight is going to make it so we can actually move around faster. Low profile is going to make it so we're invisible to UAVs, tracking rounds, as well as exo ping, which is definitely pretty freaking nice. It can help you out quite a lot. Down here in perk 3, we're going to have toughness and blast suppressor. Toughness is not a perk I've ever really found to be very useful on a shotgun, but it is in fact useful on a shotgun if you're trying to go ahead and aim down sight and take someone out that's at that 10-meter range that I just showed you guys. It can help out with that, as well as blast suppressor here is something that I just think everyone should have on their classes. It makes it so when you're using a shotgun, you're trying to maneuver your way around the map as fast as humanly possible. It makes it so you can go ahead and not show up on the minimap. You're not going to ping on the map. You're going to get right behind the guy. You're going to blast him with a shotgun. He'll have no idea you were coming, and then before you know it, you're going to dash your way out of there, and no one's going to be any the wiser as to where you went. Overclock, once again, as the exo ability, I've got a Semtex on here because I find that Semtexes are the best of the grenades here. I'm not really a big fan of the threat, or the EMP can be super annoying, but it doesn't have a whole lot of utility in my opinion. The tried and true frag grenade just doesn't seem to cut it in this game. The Semtex is where I found a lot of my success. You throw that Semtex in towards the hard point, you throw it on the hill. If you're trying to play momentum, you throw it on a domination flag. It just tears people apart. It's very powerful. I recommend the Semtex as your lethal grenade on your exo launcher at all times. We've got the Atlas 45 here, which is a very good pistol, and you need a good secondary if you're using a shotgun. So the beauty of the Atlas 45 here is it comes stock with a 10-round magazine, but it does not kick at all, and it has a really fast fire rate. Like, as you guys can see, you can just kind of spam the trigger here, and I'm not using like a modded scuff controller or anything like that with trigger stops. It's just any stock controller. Anyone can do this. You can shoot this thing ridiculously quick. It is semi-automatic, but you can shoot it very quickly, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty reliable 4-hit kill at most ranges, so it's a pretty powerful pistol that can help you out in a lot of situations. It's always good to have a good secondary on your shotgun in case you get in that kind of situation where the guy is really far down the street or something like that, and you really just are having trouble getting near him. You pull out your pistol, pop up behind cover, something like this here, and just start popping at him. It might get you a kill or two. Secondaries are kind of your best friend when you're using a shotgun class, believe me on that. And for the score streak, this is of course interchangeable, but I just run the UAV. It's the lowest kill streak. I like to have it. You can of course, if you really wanted to, make this a support UAV, which is going to cost you 700 points compared to the original 400, but wherever you want. If you're having trouble getting the standard UAV, maybe make it show up as support. That way you're actually getting the UAV consistently by the fact that it's a support kill streak now. But for me, I just run the normal ones. That way I can try and get more of them quickly. And yeah, So that is the shotgun class I've been playing around with. I've had some success with it, and I like it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this little shotgun tutorial. Next up, we have the SN6. Now, this submachine gun's pretty freaking awesome. The first thing you'll notice when you actually use this gun, let's actually hop in the firing range, is it looks like the SMR from Black Ops 2, but in submachine gun form. It really, really does. But itself, it's actually a very powerful submachine gun. So if you look at the damage, it's like, the damage seems kind of weak. But the first 3 rounds of a burst fire faster, and it also has the best accuracy of all the submachine guns. What this means is hip firing, as well as aiming down sight, is completely accurate. You're never really gonna miss with this thing. It's very accurate and it's very easy to take people out. This is basically our close quarters combat class. This is the class I use in game modes like hardpoint, where we're constantly fighting on the hardpoint, where you're at bad breath distance a lot of time with the enemy team and you don't want to use a shotgun, you want to use a submachine gun or something like that instead for a little bit more utility. This is the class I like to go to. This thing is very nice. The attachments we're going to be using are going to be laser sight and quick draw grip. That's going to make it so regardless if I want to aim down sight or if I just want to spray them down and hip fire them, I'm going to have a lot of versatility and a lot of utility by using these 2 attachments here. The perks we're going to be using are actually going to be 4 perks similar to what we did with our last grade class, and they're going to be the exact same perks. I haven't changed around my perks a whole lot here in the game, and these are all perks you get relatively early. So we're going to be using low profile as well as lightweight. We've got blast suppressor as well as toughness. I believe toughness is definitely crucial on just about every single class. Be sure to have that. The exo ability we're going to be using is going to be exo overclock once again. We're going to have 1 Semtex. We're going to have our Atlas 485 secondary, and we're going to have our, of course, interchangeable kill streak, which I decided I would like to run the UAV. The beauty of this gun is you look at the crosshairs here, they're always relatively tight, you know. If you're just running around, you're just kind of hip firing at people, you can even hip fire people at relatively good ranges and get some good hit markers on them. Of course, you should not ever try and hip fire somebody that is that far away, but if you aim down sights with this gun, it really does not kick a whole lot. It is very accurate, and you can definitely take people out at longer ranges with it, but keep in mind it's a relatively weak submachine gun, so you probably shouldn't try and take too many people out at long ranges, but just kind of running the gun and using the quick draw sight to quickly snap on target, pull up your sights really quickly, and just, you know, put some bullets into people, reload, run away. Of course, you have all these dash abilities here in Advanced Warfare, and because of the increased accuracy of the weapon, as well as the fact we've got laser sight on here, the crosshairs never actually get bigger than they are right now, which that's pretty tight crosshairs right there. So hip firing with this gun is very nice. It's a very nice class overall, and I think you guys will enjoy it if you're a fan of rushing. Next up, we have my baby, the ASM-1. I love this weapon. I am in love with this thing. It's so powerful. It's so good. One of the best submachine guns in the game, and my most used weapon in the game. In fact, here in Advanced Warfare, I love it. The reason I love it is just in looking at it, it reminds me a lot of the iron sights. Yeah, the way you hold it just here when you're not even aiming down sights, you're just kind of hip firing with it. It reminds me so much of the Thompson from World at War, and that's the reason I love it more than any other gun in the game. I love it. It may not be the best weapon in the game, but it's definitely a very, very good one, and I love using it. The attachments I use on this baby are going to be laser sight, advanced rifling, as well as quick draw grip. Now, what we're going to be doing with this quick draw grip is just very useful on a submachine gun. Makes it so you have one of the fastest ADS times in the game, because submachine guns already come equipped with some of the fastest ADS times in the game, as well as now we have it even faster with quick draw grip. We've got advanced rifling, which is the equivalent of a long barrel if you're comparing it to something like Black Ops 2. It increases the range of the weapon, as well as we have laser sight here, which is going to make it so my hip fire is a little bit easier. The perks we're going to be using is just one perk 1. It's going to be lightweight. Here at perk 3, we're going to be using toughness and blast suppressor, which are pretty standard amongst most of my classes. We've got overclock, we've got Semtex, we have the Atlas 485 secondary, as well as the UAV. Pretty standard. My classes don't change around a whole lot. It mainly just goes around to what gun works well for what map. Now, the ASM-1 here is one of the better guns in the game. It's for those maps where you want to use a submachine gun, but you're finding yourself at longer distances at submachine gun range. Like the last class we had with the SN6, that is very good for if you're playing like hardpoint and you're constantly 2 feet away from people. But if you're playing domination where you want to use a submachine gun, but you can actually put a little bit of range between you and your target, this gun is so powerful for that. It has, I believe, the highest damage of all the submachine guns. Let's go ahead and check. Fully automatic, best damage in class, so it's the highest damage submachine gun at stock, and firing over time increases the accuracy of the weapon but lowers the fire rate, making it so you can actually go ahead and take people out at longer ranges. It's going to lower the fire rate the longer you hold down the trigger, but it's going to increase the accuracy as you hold down the trigger, making it easier to take people out at range. Now, usually if you take a submachine gun and you just start spraying down range, it's going to kick like a mule straight up in the air. This one only kicks slightly in the air, even holding it down for the entire 45 round magazine. And another big addition to this weapon is the fact that it comes stock with a 45 round magazine, which can be pretty powerful. I think I don't need to explain to you guys why it's awesome to have a 45 round magazine on a submachine gun that has the best damage of all the other submachine guns when they come stock. I mean, that's just pretty powerful overall. It's one of the better guns in the game. It's my most used weapon in Advanced Warfare. I definitely recommend you guys trying it out. I definitely recommend this class because it's the class I use whenever I use my ASM one. Last but not least, we have the IMR. What I believe to be, honestly, the most overpowered gun in the game. I actually made a video talking about the IMR here and why I believe it's the most overpowered gun within Advanced Warfare. It's so powerful. We're going to review that a little bit here, and I'm going to be showing you guys some stuff as to what I like to run when I'm using the IMR. So the gun I'm using basically the stock one. I do occasionally switch it out here for the feedback, which of course is an upgrade to it that I actually got via a supply drop. Now what this does is going to increase the fire rate by 2, but drop the accuracy and the range by 1. Sometimes I like to use that, sometimes I like to use normal one. Really depends on what I'm feeling, but just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to be using any elites or professional grade weapons I got out of supply drops. I'm just going to show you guys the stock weapon itself. So the IMR, the way I like to run it is with a suppressor, a quick draw grip, as well as a stock, because I like to move around with this gun a lot. Now, of course, you don't need to move around with this gun a lot. You can, of course, sit back and pick people off, and you'll have a lot of success doing that. But for me, the way I play my assault rifles, especially the way I play my burst rifles, I like to move around with them. It reminds me a lot of the M8A1 from Black Ops 2. Perks I'm using, pretty standard. I've got lightweight, I've got toughness and blast suppressor. I'm using overclock as my exo ability, and I'm using Semtex as my exo launcher. Because this class usually will get me on pretty good kill streaks, because the very nature of using a burst rifle, you can kind of move around, get to a spot of advantage, pick a few people off, move to a new spot, pick people off. And because of that, I find myself going on kill streaks a lot more with this gun than I would usually other guns. So because of that, I'm actually using 2 kill streaks, that being UAV and system hack. As the game goes on and as more people start playing, and as I'm able to get more comfortable with the game and whatnot, I'm probably going to switch out like system hack. I might start using some higher kill streaks. Like the ideal kill streak setup for me has been UAV, missile strike, and bombing run. But as of right now, I'm just going to run UAV and system hack so I can help out my teammates as they try to learn the game and be able to try and win some matches. That's what I'm really all about, is trying to win matches. So I want to make it so I can win those games easier. So because I'm running UAV and system hack, because of that, because I'm running 2 kill streaks, I had to sacrifice a point somewhere, and I actually decided to sacrifice a pistol. This class does not have an Atlas 45, but it works out pretty well because the IMR itself does not necessarily need a pistol. It's a burst rifle. Chances are you're going to be pretty far away from the person you're trying to shoot at, and you're not going to need to ever kind of swap out to your secondary. You're never going to find yourself in a position where you need a secondary, and you'll never find yourself in a position where you actually need to have ammo, because this gun regenerates its own ammo. If you guys didn't see my most overpowered gun in Advanced Warfare video, let me show you. Now look down here at the bottom right of the screen. You see there's 36 rounds in my magazine, and then I have 80 bullets now as reserve ammo. This weapon generates its own ammo. Look down there at the bottom right. Notice how I now have 84 rounds in reserve ammo. Let's wait for it. Now you see I have 88 bullets in reserve ammo. Let me just start randomly shooting my gun here and reloading. You're going to be seeing that my reserve ammo at the bottom there just randomly goes up. It generates its own ammo. It laser prints its own ammo. So you never essentially run out of ammo on this thing. It's a very powerful gun. Well, I believe to be honestly the best gun in the game if you use it correctly. If you try to use this gun like a submachine gun, chances are you're not going to do so hot. But just using the gun itself and playing to its strengths, sitting back like this, trying to pick people off at a distance, using its crazy good fire rate to take out as many people as humanly possible, doing that kind of thing, moving around, getting to one position of advantage to another, this weapon is ridiculously powerful, and I've used it quite a lot here in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys all found it helpful and informative, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves, and of course let me know in the comments, what is your guys' favorite creative class? What is the class that has been working best for you so far in the very early life cycle of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? Let me know about that. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, because I post Call of Duty Advanced Warfare content here daily, and if you like this video, chances are you'll like a lot of my other videos, so be sure to subscribe if you are new. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.